This is the Golden Horseshoe at Disneyland, and it used to be home to my favorite show, the Golden Horseshoe Revue. It was a show that was here for 31 years. And some of the performers did voices around the park that you can still hear. I want to tell you about them. I'm inside the Golden Horseshoe, and I want to show you something that's very special to me, and it's on this wall right over here. A lot of people don't even know about this, and I was hired to be a consultant on this very special poster. It's a tribute to the three longest-running members of the cast, Wally, Boag, Betty Taylor, and Fulton Burley. Two of the Horseshoe performers are still heard here inside Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. Let's go inside and I'll tell you about them. This is the historic Tiki Room show. It opened in 1963 and was the first audio animatronics show ever. And the voice of the MC, Jose, is Wally Boag. It's appropriate that Wally's the MC here because he was a natural with the audience. He was performing on stage around the world since the 1930s, and he had an ability to entertain young and old alike. Wally was personally chosen by Walt Disney to write and star in the Golden Horseshoe Revue right from Disneyland's opening day in 1955, and he stayed with the show until 1982. Walt loved both the show and Wally's comedy. Whenever Walt needed someone to entertain and bring humor to a live show, whether it was at Disneyland or even at Walt's Radio City Music Hall show, he would call on Wally. In the earliest days of Disneyland, Walt even had Wally host a live radio show broadcast out of Disneyland. In the Golden Horseshoe, Wally performed his balloon animal comedy routine, an act that he perfected on stages years before coming to Disneyland.
Oh, it's so hot in here today. What'd you expect, feathers?
Wally was also widely remembered for getting punched on stage and spitting out his teeth as part of the act. In reality, it was a seemingly endless supply of beans that he had stuffed in his cheeks. You may like the video that I did at the London Hippodrome, where Wally performed his balloon act in 1947, and he introduced a young Julie Andrews to the world. Now, Walt also asked Wally to work for WED, which is now known as Walt Disney Imagineering, where he wrote most of the Tiki Room. Take a listen to Wally as Jose.
Oh, buenos dias, señorita. My siestas are getting shorter and shorter. Oh, look at all the people. And welcome to Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room.
And this bird, Michael, is Wally Boag's co-star in the Golden Horseshoe Revue, Fulton Burley. Now, Fulton was also no stranger to the stage when he joined the Golden Horseshoe Revue in 1962. Like Wally, Fulton knew how to charm an audience. He was the Irish singer of the show, and he delighted audiences, like me, with his humor and comical songs.
One big question, is everybody happy? That's what we want to hear now we get down. Oh, that hurts.
Fulton first met Wally when the two of them appeared together in a movie for MGM, and they stayed friends ever since. So when the original singer in the Golden Horseshoe had to leave the show permanently, Wally called his good friend Fulton to take over the role. Fulton first stepped on the Horseshoe stage in 1962, and he stayed with the show until the final performance in 1986. Now listen to Fulton as Michael.
Hey, Michael, mi amigo. Pay attention, it's Joe time.
So it is, and what darling people I have sitting under me. Pierre, you rascal, you. Let's put on the show.
For many years, you were also able to hear Fulton as the narrator aboard the sailing ship Columbia.
Ahoy, shipmates! You have just set sail aboard the proud Columbia.
Betty Taylor was heard inside this building. It started out as the Carousel of Progress, and then when that was closed and it was moved to Walt Disney World, it became America Sings, which I just loved. And Betty was a voice in that show. Now, in the Golden Horseshoe Revue, Betty was the longest-running cast member in the show, and she played the character of Slewfoot Sue. Slewfoot Sue was a witty, classy, and flirtatious saloon singer. The original Slewfoot Sue left the show in 1956, just months after the park opening, and Betty took over the role, and she stayed with the show until its final performance in 1986. Betty had a very successful career as a singer before coming to Disneyland. She even did a Las Vegas show with Frank Sinatra. America Sings, which opened in 1974, was an extravagant audio animatronics show which took guests through the history of American music with each turn of the rotating theater. To those involved with the show, it was a natural to cast Betty as the voice of the saloon singing character. Now, before I show you that, I want to show you a clip of Betty singing Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey, a song she often sang in the Golden Horseshoe, and then I'll show you a clip of her in America Sings.
I want you to come home, Bill Bailey. I want you to come on home. Keep on the whole night long. I'll do the cooking, honey. I'll pay the rent. I'll know the done.
There's yet another horseshoe performer that I have to talk about, and that's Jay Meyer. And you can still hear Jay Meyer inside the Haunted Mansion. Jay recorded his voice for the Haunted Mansion just a few years before he joined the Golden Horseshoe Revue. Jay joined the cast of the Golden Horseshoe because as the years went on, Disneyland began operating 7 days a week, and that meant 7 days of the Golden Horseshoe. So the main cast had performers to take over for them on their days off, and Jay did Fulton's role starting in 1972. Jay was a great singer who was heard on old-time radio back in the 1940s, and he was later seen on television, and he was heard in numerous movies. Jay brought a different take on the Golden Horseshoe role. Rather than Fulton's comedy, Jay was the sweet Irish tenor. He continued filling in for Fulton as Fulton tended to take more time off as the years went on, and both Fulton and Jay appeared on stage together for the first time at the final show in 1986. I told you that you could hear Jay inside the Haunted Mansion, but did you know you could actually see him? I'll show you. That's Jay, second from the right, and he's not only seen here, but at Walt Disney World and at Haunted Mansions around the world.